It's not always goofy, look at all the icky leaves in my backyard uh, type thing. And this is what I call a field trip when you're under quarantine. Hi, I'm Nani, and welcome to the Chronicles of Nani. Today we're going to take a quarantine field trip. That is, my doctor has had me under quarantine since the beginning of March, and I really haven't been out much. I haven't left the house except to go out and see my yard, and quarantine field trip means we're going to go see my yard. Um, First thing I want to do is get some of my coffee in. If you're looking at the cup and thinking any sort of way, MS is a pre-existing condition. How else am I going to vote? Now let's go on outside. Okay, so I'm out in my own backyard, still wearing a mask because I'm planning on cheating a little bit. And we've talked about masks before. If you really look at my eyes when I'm looking at you, you can tell the evil smile that goes with cheating a little bit. Okay, so now here we go down the ramp to head towards my backyard. And yes, you can tell it's full because of all the stuff all over my backyard. Nice shot of the garage. And there's my backyard. My husband is not home today. That's where the wheelchair van usually parks. And right now, there is no wheelchair van because I found out this morning that it's his day off. And the wheelchair van is his mode of transportation until things are fixed. What you're seeing now here that's my ramp that was built by Accessible Renovations, which is the local company and a fantastic company. They take wonderful care of the people that they're doing renovations for. I want to show you over here because this is just an interesting thing about my yard. This is the flower bed. I had wonderful dreams for the flower bed. The flower bed was going to start in the spring with crocuses in the very early spring, and then go into daffodils and then tulips. And I had a whole line of perennials that were going to grow from the spring all the way through the fall. I got as far as the spring, and then MS said, no, you're not planting anything else. And it's pretty obvious that I'm the only one that's actually planting anything. So now we're going to take a look at a little bit farther up, and oh look, the sun's even shining. So this is basically my neighborhood. But I can show you that we've got beautiful fall colors starting to grow across the street, which is fantastic. And I don't get to see those from sitting inside the house. This right here is one of the most important things in my front yard, because this is the oak tree where our squirrel lives. I love squirrels. If you've heard my silly poems, you know that I love squirrels. And that's a real thing. And our big fat squirrel that seems to live in this tree is always letting other squirrels come about halfway up And then she'll chase them down and say, "No more, you're too close to my nest." So I am about to break a quarantine law right now. And that is, if you look right down here, you see the end of my driveway. Let me back up a little bit. There's the end of my driveway. I am not supposed to go past the end of my driveway. I am about to take a big leap and walk and all right, I'm on wheels, but it's walking to me. But I'm gonna walk down the sidewalk in front of the house. And this is the first time I've ever taken this type of chance since the beginning of March. I haven't been past this line in the driveway. So here we go. I'm seriously breaking the law now. But I'm not really breaking the quarantine law. This is one of the masks that my doctor said was okay. And I'm not really so much outside of the house as I am just on the sidewalk in front of my house. Now the one thing that I am going to do is I am reaching the end of my property line right here, which means now we have to spin around. So I'm going to do the spinning around part. That you just briefly saw was the home of the greatest neighbors in the world. We have fantastic neighbors. New neighbors next door. But our neighbors across the street are wonderful. And they are getting to move. And that's very sad that they're getting ready to move. But understandable, as I've been here, wow, I've lived here almost 15 years. And as we all get older and things get happening with us, it's sometimes necessary to move on. If you take a look in our front window, you will see our bears. I am so proud of our bears. The bigger bear is Rudy Bear, who used to live in my car, and he now lives in the front window. And the smaller bear is the Don't Panic Bear, which if you're a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fan, you understand Don't Panic. But I'm proud to have those bears up there. The bears in the front window are so that people who are hopefully wearing a mask. In Ohio, Governor DeWine says if you're going any place where there are people, you wear a mask, period. But also, if you're just out walking the dog or just going for a walk or even skateboarding, bicycling, you should wear a mask, because if you pass somebody else on the sidewalk, are you going to have one person go 5 feet to the side of the road and one person 5 feet onto somebody's, or 3 feet or whatever feet onto somebody's yard, so that you can still be the mandatory at least 6 feet apart? Or do you just walk by and try not to breathe? Not so smart either. So what we're doing now is we're going back towards my ramp. And I'll talk to you a little bit more once we get in the house. So now that I'm done with my outside part of my field trip, I'm taking off my mask. This mask is a disposable mask. But I'm taking off my disposable mask. And because you still don't go out where there might be other people. And before I throw it away, I'm doing the important and responsible thing. If you are using a disposable mask, make sure that you cut the ear holders before you throw them away, because ducks, wildlife of all sorts, birds, any kind of animals can actually get stuck and suffocate, even die from using from the mask being thrown away without the pieces being broken. Also, if you see anybody taking a perfectly clean mask and throwing it on the ground, especially if you see them do that and take a picture of it, pick up after them and take a picture of them doing it, because there are two things that are wrong. If you throw a mask on the ground, that's not the way you throw a mask out. And if you are doing that to say, see what you're doing wearing your mask, what are you protecting throwing stuff on the ground? If somebody throws a mask on the ground and takes a picture of it, get a picture of them doing it, because they're trying to make people who wear masks look bad. Wearing masks are what you do to be safe, and cutting the ear holes on disposable masks are what you do to throw them away safely and throw them in the garbage. So we're inside the house, and this is the chair that you usually see me talking from. And over here are some of the things that I usually keep stuff on. My coffee cup is usually on this brown table. And you'll see that in my plastic containers of things I use every day, I've got a picture of my great-grandparents, a very old picture of my great-grandparents. I've got the sticker, some things got moved around because the sticker for Kamala Harris for president is visible, and it's sitting right on top of my Hillary Clinton for president button from 4 years ago. So I'm hoping that my buttons do a lot better this year. I hope you enjoyed my quarantine field trip, which, while I'm still under quarantine because I have MS, my quarantine field trip is, I hope you liked my backyard and my front yard, and even when I was a little bit naughty and went on the sidewalk in front of the house. Boy, that was lots of fun. And it is wonderful to get outside. I noticed that my cheeks are the same color of red now, which, thank you, Mother Nature. I don't wear makeup because putting on makeup is a lot of hassle when your hands don't want to cooperate. And I'd rather save my hands for editing vlogs than trying to make my face look younger or different than it does. Like I said at the beginning of the vlog, you don't have to vote the way I do. I don't feel like I have a choice because I have a pre-existing condition. And there's pre-existing conditions in Social Security, which includes disability, are being threatened right now. And I don't feel like I have a choice of how I'm going to cast my vote. You can completely disagree with me. You can have other things that are of more importance to you that makes you want to vote different. You may say you don't like any of the choices for president, and so don't vote for president, or write-in vote. Or over the years, Mickey Mouse has had so many write-in votes for president of our country. I don't think it matters what side of the aisle the president comes from. They try to govern the entire country. Sadly, I really felt that ended a few elections ago. And I want to see that come back. I really, really want to see we have two sides working together so that we're all governed equally. But the important thing is vote. Even if you choose not to vote for president at all, there are lots of things that are important to vote for. And you have no right to complain about anything if you don't cast your ballot. The big thing this year being the mail-in ballots. I have voted absentee ballot for quite a few years because it's harder for me to get in to vote with MS. So the greatest thing about that, and if you choose to vote absentee this year because of fear or respect for the coronavirus, the one thing that you're going to find out that's great about that, because the one thing I love about it, is as you go through your ballot and you start seeing things that I didn't know that I could vote on this. I didn't know that this was an issue that was up for re-election. Some of those issues are just issue yes, and you don't pay anything different, and your services don't change. It just needs to be renewed. And if you vote no, you start losing services like for the schools and for senior citizens and for police and fire. If you vote no, you barely even notice any tax that you aren't paying anymore, but boy, do you notice the services you don't get. So absentee mail-in voting, same thing, is really the way to go because it gives you the opportunity to have a few days to fill out your ballot and educate yourself on anything that you didn't realize you had to vote on. It makes you a better and more conscientious voter. So after the little everybody vote speech, and I think everybody should, it's not your right, it's your responsibility. And if you don't vote, don't complain about anything, because anything that there is to complain about is partially your fault. So now I'm going to say goodbye. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because it's not always goofy, look at all the icky leaves in my backyard type thing. And this is what I call a field trip when you're under quarantine. Some of it's funny, some of it's serious. Take a look. Share this video if you found it interesting. You can also share any of the other Chronicles of Nani videos, and encourage people to keep coming back and hit that subscribe button, because I love to watch that number rise. And I say that every week, but boy, it's the truth. And if it comes right down to it, if you like my smile instead of my frown, then definitely subscribe and make me smile some more. And on that note, I will see you next Friday or whenever you get a chance to watch the vlog, and we can share a cup of coffee. If you watch the vlog at 8 o'clock when it premieres, I'm watching too. Come on over to YouTube to watch it, and we can also talk in the text box while we share a cup of coffee. Goodbye and have a great week.